So hello there.
Hurt my feelings, Smack. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I hurt your feelings. That's a shame.
Yes.
Maybe if you wasn't such like a cowardly American dog, you would have much more of a backbone.
I didn't ask to be born here, okay?
Yeah, but you did choose to stay.
Well, yes and no.
I'm sure your beloved Canadian cousins would have opened their arms to
Y-
you.
actually, I kind of did want to move to Canada until I learned that their whatever they have, their prime minister or whoever the hell's in charge up there is nothing but a worthless piece of shit.
Oh, was it Justin Trudeau or whatever his name is?
Yeah, whatever the guy during all the rioting and shit, little snake that he was.
Wait, what?
Okay, I don't remember the details,
I know,
but
I know him to be like crazy SJW, but
no, like I don't remember the details, but it was like during like back when the whole mask mandate shit and this and that, and basically everyone had enough of following all these stupid ass rules, and so basically there was parts in Canada, cities in Canada, I guess, that were basically protesting, saying, "No, fuck this, we're done with this bullshit," and he just kept going on to like make make shit worse, and then he literally hid away. Like he was off in a bunker or some shit. Like no one knew, like literally no one knew where the fuck he was.
wait,
But he
so
was just like,
So was he trying to abolish like the safety rules, or was he trying
no,
to
no, no, no.
enact more of them?
He was just trying to add more and more and more because people in fucking power always we're doing this for your safety, but then at some point you just kind of look at it and go, no, you're not. You're doing this for control.
Like, Boris Johnson, on the same note, puts all these like regulations mid COVID. Can't do this, can't do that. Maximum of 5 people. It's got to be in your bubble, your family bubble, and yet still has office parties with a bunch of people who I'm pretty convinced are not in his bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they it was like the governor of California here. Fucking Nancy Pelosi, that dumb cunt. Oh my god, not even liberals and Democrats like her, but she basically, yeah, in the middle of all this COVID shit, she was caught on camera getting like the whole state of California shut down. Like there was, other than like grocery stores and shit, there was like nothing open, and she's caught on camera at a hair salon that like basically opened just for her to come in and do her hair, had no mask on, no nothing. And but she was always like, oh, you got to wear a mask, you got to do this and that. And so like the footage was obviously shown to the public saying, hey, this lady that, basically she's not following her own rules. And her defense was, well, I feel like I was set up. That's literally what she said.
Okay, real talk. I don't. I swear down. Like, it doesn't matter what country you're in. It just seems to be the same story. Like people in power disregarding their own rules, like doing the most stupidest shit and getting caught for it. I'm pretty sure you
Uh-huh.
could dig up like an article, at least one for every country out there
Oh
with
yeah.
a
Oh,
similar thing. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Politicians are they at least in the American system, politicians were never, it wasn't meant to be a career, and it certainly wasn't supposed to be something that was going to make you millions of dollars, but that's just what it got twisted into. And yeah, I feel like basically anyone over the age of 50, we need to just do a clean sweep through politics and get them the fuck out.
Yeah. Well,
And
I think just an ultimate like refresher of like blood. So entirely new people, new ideas. Never touched,
oh yeah.
never touched the like houses of parliament or anything like that before. It's that fresh in there, and just we can't do any worse, right? Like
Yeah.
we can't do any worse. So
No, no, I mean, I guess we could have fucking nuclear war or World War III, so to speak, what the fuck ever. But
Yeah, but the closest we've already come to that is Mr. Putin over there, and he's been in power for God knows how long. So kind of backs up the
yeah,
point, really.
but that, like I said, I can't speak for other countries because everyone, they all have their own political system and stuff.
Okay,
But
well, speaking as you being from America, okay, I want to remind you that America has been in this pissing competition with Russia, like pretty
oh
much
yeah,
since like they discovered each other exist. Okay,
yeah,
who
no,
can
I know.
drill the deepest? Who can get to Mars? Like the moon the fastest? Like who can beat each other in the nuclear like the nuclear arms race, stuff like that. Like
Oh no, I know that's America always has to be number one, and I'm perfectly like I'm all for like living in a country where they're like, yeah, we need to be the first to do shit. But at the same time, I also feel like there's been a lot of shit just wasted where I don't know, like I know NASA just launched some sort of rocket slash satellite thing. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but basically they did a test to prevent a asteroid
oh
doomsday type thing.
no, that wasn't NASA. I think that was Elon Musk and his weirdness.
Well,
Was
it's
it
advertised as
SpaceX?
NASA.
Was it
I
SpaceX?
don't know.
I think it was
I
SpaceX.
don't know. Let's see.
I don't feel like that would have been NASA because I remember seeing unless Elon Musk was putting his 2 cents in it, in which case yeah, it was probably NASA and Elon was basically calling him
Let's-
stupid. But depends.
Uh,
Knowing Elon, he
I don't
doesn't
know.
approve of anything NASA does.
Yeah. NASA decided to plow their DART craft into a harmless asteroid nearly 11.3 million kilometers away from Earth as a practice run in case there's ever a rock heading on a collision course with our planet.
I mean, fair. Have you ever seen the movie Don't Look Up?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, long story short, Comet is basically on a collision course with Earth. Scientists basically discover this like way early. Then they try and tell the world to get the world to prepare or at least do something about it. They go onto television, everything. They basically get like treated as if like they're just bonkers. Um, and it's a sensation. Oh, these mad crackpot scientists are making this claim. Aren't they funny? And then it turns out to actually be correct. And the
Yeah.
politicians' first move is how do we turn this into something profit? So they find out there's like rare minerals they can only get on the asteroid, the comet that will like make them rich. So instead of like trying to basically spoilers by the way. Instead of trying to get the comet to like go somewhere else and not crash into our planet, they basically like let's try and harvest it. So they do, and it goes wrong.
Of course it does, because
Spoiler alert!
every
Spoiler
time
alert
a
doesn't.
politician comes up with an idea, it goes wrong, and then it takes some random person in the world to go, "Oh my god, I have the exact set of skills needed to do this."
Yeah, yeah. I think the guy they had try and like mine the comet was basically like their version of Steve Jobs, essentially. Spoilers, it
Yeah.
doesn't end well, which is surprising considering it's an American movie, and usually the Americans come to save the day. But I think that was also the point, is like capitalism to a detriment. But anyway,
Uh,
good
People
movie.
are dumb. You
Good.
can literally tell them, "Hey, don't go that way. There's a fire." And if they can't see the fire, they're gonna go, no, they don't know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. That was handled in the movie as well. So the whole time they're like these crackpot scientists are basically saying about a bunch of mumbo jumbo. They can't be right. And then the moment that you can actually visibly see the comet in the sky, like the scientists are like, look up at the sky, you can literally see it. And then like half the population are like, it's true, oh my god, we're all gonna die. And then the other half are like, oh, let's make money. But like you also have like this entire side, or like this entire the kind of like the Donald Trump people, you know, like an entire following of citizens who are basically chanting, "Don't look up. It doesn't exist. Don't look up." You know, I swear at some point they actually kept like came out with like, it is part of my constitution rights to not look up, and you cannot tell me that comet exists. And it was like it's so like tongue in cheek about like the actual state of like capitalist countries. That hurts.
See, you say that though. You said that like Donald Trump people, but what you just described is what I see liberals and Democrats as. Liberals and Democrats will literally do the exact opposite of what someone says if they don't if it doesn't fit what they want to hear or believe, they will do the exact opposite. Given there's extremists on all sides of things.
I mean,
So I said you may see shit on one side that I don't. Uh, but just in my experience, I see that as
yeah.
literally people. It's literally liberals and Democrats, and they because they refuse to do any actual fact checking or research into anything. You literally tell them, "Hey, this is happening." Nope,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Small
and then
disclaimer. Small
they just
disclaimer.
walk away.
Both sides of it are BS. It's the same in this country. I'm pretty sure it's the same in most countries.
All
Opposing
sides are
parties,
BS.
yeah, opposing parties, both sides are pretty much like always wrong, and both are equally as useless. However, bear in mind that when I bring up Trump, you gotta realize I'm from across the pond. Okay, when Trump came over here, we had an oversized. I think it was like an oversized inflatable of Donald Trump in a nappy or something like that, and we basically paraded it through the streets as an insult.
It's funny.
Yeah,
That's
you will be very hard pressed to find anyone who actually likes Donald Trump, and by proxy, Boris Johnson, because he is basically like, you know, Donald Trump's like younger brother or something. Might as well, may as well be, you know.
I just love how we have two complete different views when it comes to this. It's like because like I say you see shit that like you see stuff that I don't, I see stuff that you don't, and it just two entirely different things. I don't know. Whatever. Makes no difference to me. Everyone has their own opinion.
That's the thing. I mean, the kind of world has its eyes on America because they do over televise everything, right? So everybody's going to
Yeah.
have an opinion on what happens with American politics, especially since they're so, you know, massive. They've got a lot of power. They are one of the world's superpowers. Why would you not be paying attention to them? You know.
Yeah.
Let's just say I feel like no matter what your country does, it's always got like this kind of 70-30 split of stupidity, with
Oh
the
yeah.
majority being stupid actions,
Yes.
you know.
Absolutely.
Like two words in an entire paraphrase would be like actual good ideas. But
Yeah.
you know,
No, you're not right. Fucking America is just. I don't. We're so fucked up. And like I said, I'm all for everyone has their own opinions, everyone has their own views, everyone believes their own shit. That's fine. But I cannot stand how we've devolved into if you don't agree with me, then you're just wrong. You're stupid. Go kill yourself, yada yada. And then they turn right around and try to go, oh, everyone deserves happiness. Everyone, we should all, all get along and this and that. Those are the people I fucking like. I get on YouTube and just like I'll scroll through comments and stuff because I just like to see people being stupid. And I see that shit. People are like, "Oh, if you read this, I hope you have a good day." And I'm just like, "Go fuck yourself."
oh no, don't spreading a little bit of cheer and the
That's not
seeds of
cheer though. That's
what?
not cheer, and it does nothing. And the fact that they actually think in some way, shape, or form that it does anything. or could possibly do anything.
Yeah, but you know what the
So,
argument is, right? It's to do with the vibes, right? Like if you were scrolling through the things and something called you a twat, or as opposed to like wishing you a good day, what are you gonna take more to heart? Like you're gonna see the twat
me,
thing and you're gonna be, well, that's mildly annoying. Whereas you're gonna look at like,
actually, actually, I'd look at it and laugh. The other one just irritates me
that is so strange. Why would something positive
because
irritate you?
because I don't see the world in a positive way. Like I don't try to be like, oh, the world, there's no good in the world. The world just sucks, yada yada yada. There is good in the world. But the fact when people, I guess to me, that little bit of shit where someone's just like, oh, I hope you have a great day. I hope everything goes well. I'm like, just one, you don't even know anyone you're telling that to. Okay, like for all you know, they could fucking be grieving because their whole family was just murdered. Like that's probably the last thing they want to hear because their life is not going to get better because of that. But that's an extreme case. But I'm just like, no, just no. That little bit of the fact that people think it accomplishes something, and then if it actually does accomplish something, that irritates me even more because something that's small and insignificant should not accomplish a fucking thing. It,
I mean,
it's there's no winning with
I
me.
suppose context is everything, right? Like, I know it's not the best.
Yeah, context is, but
Yeah,
I just I hate people that just are like, I'm gonna spread the joy and this and that. And I'm like, shut up. You want
yeah.
to spread joy? Comment about something about this video. Say something funny. Talk about how the video's good instead of just, oh, I hope everyone that reads this has a good day. No, shut up. Maybe I want to have a bad day. Don't fucking tell me what to do. You're not my
Do
real mom.
Do you ever like go onto those videos on YouTube which are like really lengthy? Basically, they're kind of like albums of kind of like music, whether it's nostalgic music or if it's like, city pop 80s music or sort of like fantasy orchestrational stuff. You always get comments which is like, hey, I just want you all to know that love and peace is all around you. You just have to reach out and grab it. And I, for one, am here to welcome you. You get like comments like that. Those always weird me out because like I get that like clearly they've got some good vibes from the music. I get the good vibes from the music, and then I read those comments and it immediately takes me out of it because I'm like, I do. Just to back up your point, I do feel like these are incredibly fake.
They are. And fake is bullshit. Especially like you just mentioned, like, oh, they're peace and joy all around you. I'm like, bullshit. I literally yesterday just saw a video of a guy went into a McDonald's and was fucking raising hell because they forgot to put napkins in his bag. I'm like, no, no, there is not peace and joy around us. Peace and joy is people minding their own fucking business.
You,
Like
you
I
mean
go,
not being Karens and Kevins?
yeah, but even more than that, literally, like if I go to the store and let's say I'm wearing a shirt that says, it says like "fuck you" on it. Okay, that's all it says. Okay, yeah, fuck. That's it's a bad word. It's a cuss word. It's a swear word. Whatever you want to call it. But my shirt is not hurting anybody. It literally is not affecting anyone. Now, if a kid sees that and then looks to their parents and say, "Hey, that guy's shirt says fuck you or says a bad word or whatever," that parent feels obligated, or the kid doesn't even have to say anything to go up and say, "Hey, you can't wear that shirt or you shouldn't wear that shirt because of the kids and this and that, blah blah." Bitch, it ain't my fucking responsibility to raise your fucking kids or give two shits about them or about anyone else. Like, you want peace and love, everyone just mind their own fucking business. Literally, that's it. If someone's doing something you don't agree with, walk away. If you see something you don't agree with and you have kids, explain to your kids Don't do that. It's not right, or whatever, and leave it at that. Quit fucking getting in everyone else's business trying to tell everyone else how to fucking live.
There was a YouTube short I saw the other day, which this rings so true with, right? So they're in a car park. I'm assuming a supermarket, okay, or superstore. I don't know what you call your weird mega-sized like shopping things up. Basically, this guy was coming back from his shopping, right? He's got this 4x4 pickup truck. He's parked up quite sensibly, actually, right? Next to his pickup truck is a car, which a lady is trying to get into. This car has about, let's say, a meter and a half of distance, which is more than enough to get in and out of a car.
Yeah.
Between itself and the 4x4. This lady, she's recording this, right, and she's all like, "This gas guzzling 4x4 is parked so close to my car. How can I get?" And then like the guy walks back. He's coming back from shopping. He goes towards his 4x4. This lady approaches him. It's like, "Look what you did. How you parked. I can't get into my car. Like, your gas guzzling 4x4 truck is taking up too much of the car park." And it's like, she's like, how am I meant to get into my car? And like, the guy takes one look at like the distance between the two cars, and it's just like, well, you could start with a diet.
Yes, exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, there are people out here that can't park for shit, or their vehicle is just so fucking massive. They really do kind of need to park it a little farther away
Yeah.
instead of right in the middle of all the cars. But these fucking people that, like you said, there was like a meter and a half. That is more than enough for any normal. I mean, I'm 6'4". I'm big. I'm not some twig. I am big. I'm not fat. I'm just big in general.
That's what they call it
And
to in the most politest way.
enough room for
Big
me. Like, I
head.
literally get in cars when there's like a foot of space because some idiot doesn't know how to park. And I'm like, I don't understand. Everyone thinks that the world needs to cater to them. And I'm like, if you fucking, if you would have thought about it, if you need more space than the average person to get in your car, maybe fucking you park farther out away from people so you don't run into this issue. Get a little exercise in there too. You walk farther.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I don't even like when I go to the store, I don't even bother trying to get a close spot to the front.
Oh
I
no, no,
don't
no, no.
bother with it.
Because that's the trick to it, isn't it? Like, the closer you are to the shop itself, like, the more likely you're going to run into a Karen or a Kevin, because you know for a fact that those people are too lazy to, like,
Yeah.
they're having their day impeded because they have to walk those extra steps. So they're gonna try and park as close as possible. And if all the parking spots are taken, they're gonna scratch up your car. You know.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah,
like
park away.
I
You'll save your
I
car
don't even
and
bother.
the aggro.
Yeah, I don't even bother trying to. I always park a decent. I don't park at the very end of the parking lot, but I'm like, okay, here's the majority of the cars, and then I'll park maybe 10 spaces farther out from where the end of the majority of the cars are. And I'm like, I will walk the few extra steps. Good exercise. It is what it is. And guess what? I get in and out easily. You got all these other people that literally will sit there and wait for someone to finish backing out of their parking spot or to pull in. And I'm like, you realize you could have already been in the store shopping if you would have just parked out here and walked.
I'll tell you what is a real pet peeve of mine. Okay, I'm not sure if you see this often, but like when the car park's reasonably empty and you're in the car with someone going to the shop, right? And they're driving and they take forever to find a parking spot, despite there being so many open bays. Right? They're like, nah, not that one. Nah, let's not take that one. That's like, a bit too open air. There's too much open air. That one by the bin, nestled in between two cars. Now that's the one I want. Like, but
Yeah.
they they always go searching for like the most weirdly inadequate parking space, and
Yeah.
when they'll like justify it, like it's got shade from the sun, and it's like it's under a single branch of a tree.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
Yeah. I back when me and my wife were dating and she would occasionally drive, I'd run into that problem with her, but then like we got married and quite frankly, I don't like her driving
yeah.
at all. I feel like she takes off and stops just too suddenly and it gives me a massive headache.
I love
And
whiplashing wheels.
yeah, and so I literally always drive every time. And like we go to the store and I just park where I park and I just look at it and I'm like, I'm not searching for a better spot. I'm parking right here and we're gonna walk. And she just okay. But and I'm just like I people make everything so much more complicated than it needs to be. God,
So, on that note, I'm going to play a little game with you. First, it's going to be a word association, okay,
penis.
and then there's going to be a question that goes with it, okay. So
Okay.
we'll go word association first, okay. I say a word, you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, okay.
Okay.
Flooding,
Water.
hurricanes,
Storm
sex,
sucks.
urine,
Sorry, I can't quit laughing. I don't know why sucks came to my mind.
I mean,
Sucks.
maybe there might be some fucking involved. You know,
Yeah.
if you're
Maybe,
into it, just be
possibly,
into it. Anyway,
possibly.
yeah. So urine,
Gross.
PlayStation,
Xbox,
lavender,
purple.
cats,
I'm sorry. What?
cats, as in kitty cat,
Okay. Oh, dogs.
vodka,
Water.
time travel,
Stupid.
alligators.
Cool.
Okay, okay, fair, fair. So we found you're not a big fan of sex. That's fine.
No, I
And
am.
apparently you are like in part Russian because you know vodka is like water to them. Um,
I don't know why you said vodka and literally I just thought clear and just like a clear image of liquid came into my mind and I'm like just water, okay.
so, I'll go through the list one more time. Now I want you to tell me what do each of these things have in common, and which one is completely unrelated from the others. Okay. So flooding, hurricanes, sex, urine, PlayStation, lavender, cats, vodka, time travel, alligators.
See, I feel like there's a couple that you said there's only one.
There's only one.
There's only one that doesn't, and I feel like there's a couple,
Nope.
but because yeah, no, I believe you, but I'm just saying it's like there's a couple that in my mind I'm like those don't belong, but you say there's only one, so it's like lavender, I guess, doesn't belong.
Okay. That's spot on. That is spot on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So why did you pick lavender?
Just because to me, lavender has just like to me, it's more like a scent versus the majority of the other shit has something to do with water
You know what?
or
I
liquid
mean,
in
fair
some
enough.
or
Time
liquid in.
traveling water is definitely a thing. Yeah.
I say that's which is really weird. I didn't even think about time traveling, honestly.
I'm sure
But
some upstart teen has poured water on their PlayStations in a rage as well. So yeah, go
well,
on.
that's yeah. I've seen plenty of videos of yeah, someone fucking accidentally spill shit on their PlayStations or
Yeah,
Xbox or whatever.
Russian teenagers tend to just lug like a bottle of vodka at their PlayStations.
So what did I win?
So you haven't won anything yet. So
Oh god damn it.
the real question is, what do all of these things have in common except for lavender?
Uh,
Would you like me to read out the list again?
yes.
Okay, I'll exclude lavender. Okay, so flooding, hurricanes, sex, urine, PlayStations, cats, vodka, time travel, alligators.
Sounds like something I could find all this in Florida.
My guy, you are so close. So
Am
close.
I?
Can you guess what I'm talking about?
Probably some sort of Florida man thing.
Indeed, I am. Indeed,
That's,
I am.
I had no idea. Just again, all the Florida man crap. That's what popped in my head after listening to everything.
Well, you're spot on, so ideal. Um, yeah. Um, gotta love Florida, man. I don't know why he came into my mind of something we should talk about today, but I, I, so I may or may not have stumbled across an article about Florida man basically being arrested for directing traffic. But how did he direct traffic?
With an alligator.
No. Try again.
Ah, he was naked and pissing all over everything while playing his PlayStation.
That's pretty close.
God damn.
A bit too complicated for a Florida man, but he was arrested for
Well, he was drunk, so
he was arrested for directing traffic while urinating. Yeah, fun.
fucking Florida. I've never been and don't really want to be, but God, the fucking stories that come out of there.
Um, so if I was to bring up the cats, what kind of relevance do you think cats would have had with Florida man?
With the guy directing traffic while pissing?
No, no, different
Oh,
Florida man. Though
different with a different.
if urban legends were to be believed, this is a singular superhero.
He was training a bunch of cats to go fight crime.
Actually, apparently, Florida man was arrested for calling 911 after his cat was denied entry into a strip club.
Oh my God.
Honestly, I think Florida has got to be my favorite part of America. I want to know how these people are raised. Like, what are they drinking? Apparently, vodka. What are they drinking when they're grown up? Like, what's their schooling like? Is it different from
Oh
mainland?
yeah, instead of water fountains, they have liquor fountains. And instead of using flour to bake things, they just use crack.
Okay. So, Pyrisk,
Yes.
did you know that Florida man was once arrested for crashing his car into a shopping mall? Would you like to know why?
Because Jesus told him to.
It's related to a very popular movie. I believe late 80s, early 90s. I actually don't remember the actual.
My God. I almost there's a movie that pops in my mind, but I can't fucking remember the name of it. Um, the fact, don't tell me,
You can
don't
do
tell
it.
me.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I no, it's not called The Getaway. Uh, fucking Christ, I cannot remember this. There's a movie on the tip of my tongue. It may not even be the same movie, but
What if I was to say it was, I think, 3 movies?
sounds very similar to the movies I'm thinking of, but I still can't fucking remember the goddamn name. Why can I not remember the name?
And if I said time travel?
No. You lost me there.
Really? Oh, Pyrisk, I am so like unhappy with you right now. Like, Back to the Future, my guy.
Oh, fuck. I was thinking I was thinking something completely different, and then you said time travel, and my brain just fucking just fried. Plus I was never a big fan of those movies anyways.
Sacrilege. Then again, I was kind of raised on weird movies. Like, did you ever watch things like Police Academy, stuff like that?
I know what they are, but I never watched them personally.
You're missing out. I feel like we need to have a movie night where we watch some of these movies. Police Academy
You
was
ever wa-
amazing.
you ever watch the Smokey and the Bandit?
I did. That's the
Uh
one with the truck, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
they have to go down to Texas to get like a or down to Texas or Mexico or some shit. I think it's Texas, and get a bunch of alcohol and get it back up to
They be moonshiners.
wherever, yeah. And they got fucking the sheriff. God damn, I don't remember his fucking name. It's been so long since I've watched those movies.
Oh gosh, if I remember. But yeah, no, it's the guy with the mustache, and
Yeah.
I do love. I don't know why, but it's like weird car movies like that from America. I love. Okay, so you know, um, you got Smokey and Bandit. You've got like Cannonball Run. Like, do you remember Cannonball Run?
Never even heard of it.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious.
Why am I more cinema? When it comes to movie, why do I have more culture than you in your own country? Like, what is?
Because honestly, the exact reason why I don't particularly know about a lot of those 70s, 80s movies, hell, even 90s movies, is because I just, the effects in them were pretty much really shitty
Really?
for most of them. And growing up, I just did not like them. You know, I was born in 92. And so it's like I just didn't even movies that so I really didn't start watching movies until, you know, 2000 or later and when the effects were getting better. But there like if you look at like the old Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and Halloween movies and stuff. It's like everyone loves those movies, but I'm not saying they're bad, but it's like if you watch some of the effects, like if someone gets decapitated, it's very clearly a fake head
Yeah.
and it just ruins it for me.
Yeah.
Not now. I actually the past couple of years I've went back and started watching some of the older movies
You can
and
sort of
stuff.
appreciate it for its actual genius now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I went earlier this year, I watched like all the Alien movies again, and actually earlier this year, I also have you ever watched Event Horizon?
No, I actually haven't.
That's a very good sci-fi movie, and like I'd heard a lot about it, but I never watched it, and so I went back and watched it, and I'm just like, yeah, it's an older movie, but God, it is so good.
Really?
Oh yeah, you should definitely watch it.
Hmm. So, I'm a little bit curious actually. Like, fast food wise, like, have you ever had Wendy's? Like a Wendy's burger? I think they do
I
burger.
will I will tell you right now, I think I've had Wendy's 3 times in my life.
3 times. Really?
The first time, I shit you not, I was probably 22, 23 years old.
Do you know-
And it was really good.
yeah.
And then I think since then, I can only actually recall me only ever having it one other time. And I feel like I've had it at least two more times, but the only other time was, I think, last year.
Yeah.
I stopped by. We have a Wendy's right down the street, and I stopped by there, and there was literally only like two people inside working. And so I sat in the drive-through for probably 20, 30 minutes, finally got my food, and it was just dog shit.
So you would say that you've kind of had like bad experiences with Wendy's, and you're probably like a bit disgruntled with them, or just
No,
you know,
I'm just
you just
gruntled with the one right down the street.
yeah.
The first time I had Wendy's, no, it was actually really good.
Do you know? Do you know who else is apparently disgruntled with Wendy's?
McDonald's.
Do you know who is so disgruntled with Wendy's that he actually got arrested from Wendy's?
Another Florida man, I'm guessing.
Indeed. Do you know how this guy managed to coax the police into basically arresting and getting him charged because he went to a Wendy's and got disgruntled?
Oh my god.
He and this is related to the list, by the way. In fact, let's go back to that list real quick. What have we not discussed? Okay, so flooding, hurricanes, sex, urine. So we've done the urine. The time travel, sure. Yeah, I think it was alligators, my dude. He threw a freaking alligator through the Wendy's drive-through window.
I feel like I saw an article. I didn't read it, but I saw a caption of it. That's fucking ridiculous.
Speaking of ridiculous, especially when it comes to animals, though, have you ever heard of the Maclay's marsupial mouse?
No,
No? Really?
no, can't say that I have.
Tell me, do you like sex? No, you don't like sex. You,
No,
you
no,
suck.
no, no, no. Let me clarify. It sucks because I'm married and barely ever have any.
Oh. Well, you know who gets tons?
Florida man, of course.
No, well, probably. I mean, I know I'm a fan, you know. I might be down for that, but no. Apparently, the Maclay's marsupial mouse gets a lot of sex. Probably a bit too much sex, actually. So you've never heard of this rodent, this particular rodent?
I don't believe I ever have.
So, what if I was to say that a single session, let's call it a session, okay? And I quote, can last for up to 14 hours in violent, frenetic sex.
I would say I need to find the nearest one and record it and take notes for educational
Really?
purposes.
Really? Are you aware that this rodent has sex so much in such a short amount of time that it literally turns its bones to dust? It literally induces itself with a severe case of arthritis. In basically,
Holy
in basically like one, let's just say 1 week of sex.
So basically, once it says I'm horny, kiss, better say goodbye to everyone before I go on this adventure.
Well, apparently, this breed of rodent kind of suffers a bit. Like it doesn't. Basically, it matures too fast, right? It matures too fast. It produces a bunch of testosterone and a bunch of sperm in a very short amount of time, and it needs to get rid of it, right? After that, it's done. It's spent, right? It will go hard, and I do mean hard, right? Males typically die after their first breeding season, which lasts about 2 weeks. Because the
Well,
result of such a breeding season, yeah, um,
yeah.
brings about so much stress and exhaustion on the body,
Well,
right? And
I mean,
that's the lucky ones.
I think I'd rather go out that way than the way of the praying mantis.
You reckon? You reckon? So
I'd rather not get my head fucking ate.
these things are so horny, my guy. So horny, right?
Uh-huh.
So, you know, they may kill themselves through stress and exhaustion. Fair enough, right? You just go harm.
Yeah.
It's like you absolutely just go hard and you pass out and you just die. Fair enough. Sounds like bliss. What man wouldn't want that? Okay, um, but like injury is also often a major factor too. Um, we're talking like burst blood vessels, torn muscles.
Yeah.
You know, I mentioned the acute arthritis. The rapid motions and the amount that they do in such a short amount of time stops basically any form of like possible recovery. Like don't recover, they just keep going, right?
Yeah.
Their blood pools in those areas, so they get to the point where they got internal bleeding and everything. Some of them die from exhaustion. I'm pretty sure some of them just generally get to a point where they've got a lack of will to live.
Yeah.
You know?
I know I would. I'd be like, well, damn, that was the best 2 weeks of my life.
Yeah.
I can die happy now. Oh fuck! Oh jeez, I'm crippling. I forgot. I'm in crippling pain.
Like, in my mind, and I'm sorry if this is a bit graphic, but in my mind, I can't help but wonder about how much like torn flesh through just friction alone, blistering,
Uh,
like just
I,
the
by the
grossest
t-
things. Like the
once
grossest.
they get done, it just like fucking raw hamburger meat falling out.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the grossest thing. But you know what? Like I would see that happening way before, and I still do not understand why they keep going. When they get to the point where their pelvic bones literally turn to mush.
Because it's literally because their brain doesn't function the same as ours. Like, anyone could be having sex, and then the next thing they're in pain. Their body is telling them stop, like quit having sex, find out what's wrong,
You
whatever.
you reckon it's an adrenaline high?
It probably is. They probably don't feel most of it just because their body probably does produce a lot of adrenaline.
They just go at it like a Viking. Like they start to feel the pain, they just start like battle crying their way through it. Like,
They just they
Odin,
get
are you proud?
they get some blood starts dripping out. They just wipe it across their face like war paint. Okay, keep going. Yeah.
Keep going. The gods are watching. She's
Yeah.
gonna hate me after this, so I might as well get all of it out.
Yeah. Well, pretty much like I'm gonna die anyways.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That now I can't picture that out of my fucking head. Just two Viking or a Viking mouse just like fucking the shit out of another mouse. Like wiping the blood across his face. Back Thor! I need your power. Next thing you know, you just see Mjolnir fucking fly through the sky and land in his hand.
So, just off the top of your head, why do you think that these rats kind of get like, just suddenly go wild? Like, what do you reckon the number one cause of that is?
I mean, to me, it just sounds like uh, it's it. basically, just in a broad statement, it's in their nature. It's just kind of what they're meant to do.
Really.
Yeah, unless there's some sort of outside force.
So there are a few current theories. Um, so they've been noted to basically rely on their mother's milk for a long time after birth. Like they basically they're breastfed for ages, right? So
Yeah,
you could definitely say they're a late bloomer, right? So
yeah,
infantile and just I guess maybe not thinking about it up until a point, and then it comes on hard. The other thing is, there apparently is to do with the ecology of where you would find these rats as well. So they go through the areas where they're often found. You'll find that they go through seasons where there's an abundance of insect like based foods to like
yeah.
just chow down on, stick their teeth into, just really go for it. So they get a lot of this protein. They basically roid up, right?
Yeah.
They roid up. Like protein, has a way with testosterone. It does help it, like, burst. And like, I guess during these seasons they just suddenly lose their minds and go for it, right? And then die shortly after, and then the new generation comes in, and the mothers are just there like, what the hell just happened over the course of a couple of days? Like,
they, they go to bed they go to bed a boy, and then they just wake up a fully grown fucking man, just ready to go to town on anything they can get their hands on.
yeah, yeah, but they're all like the uneducated, uneducated men who are just like,
Well, see that right there. That's what takes them so long is they don't know what they're doing, so they got to figure it out.
yeah.
The you set up to 14 hours. That's what the first 13 hours and 59 minutes is.
So
It's
yeah,
just them trying to figure it out. The last minute is actual sex.
yeah, Christ, a single session can take up to 14 hours. Most men can last maybe 2 minutes. Um, sorry. I know that the joke is 5 minutes, but I find that hard to believe. Um, and apparently this goes on over the next couple of weeks, and then they just freaking die. They just eat shit.
God. Uh, uh,
I love nature.
yeah, nature. Nature's got some fucked up things out there. But I would say that the theory of like they're late bloomers and it just basically all their hormones and everything hits all at once.
Rush.
I mean that kind of sounds like the most plausible thing in my mind.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Is
it's taken us a while to figure this out, but like, and this is a bit of a lesson to men and women out there, essentially. If you're looking to get off of things like animal milk and go onto, say, nut-based milk, and I'm not talking about of the male kind.
oh, you got my hopes up.
Yeah, I know. I got my own hopes up. Um, Yeah, so apparently, I don't know the name of it, but there's a nutrient in soy milk and a nutrient in um, almond milk. Okay, so almond milk basically has a nutrient that kind of emulates testosterone. Okay,
Yeah.
if you drink a lot of that, you might find that you gird your loins a lot more often. Okay, just gonna say, because your testosterone is most likely spiking. Okay, protein apparently has that same issue. By the way, lots of protein tends to do that, but it also has adverse effects. So I don't suggest just going out and eating a whole cow if you're suffering from bedside mannerisms. You might want to actually just see a doctor.
I just went out and ate a whole cow. Just fucking knew it was grazing, and I just dug in.
Yeah. On the flip side, soy milk, it has a nutrient in there that acts a lot like estrogen. Okay, and can help spike estrogen if you drink more of it, right? It apparently a good tool if you are going through certain times if you're a lady. Not so good for men. You there's been cases where people find it to be a nice thirst quencher, soy milk, um, and essentially it puts their hormone levels out of whack. Okay, because they drink in abundance. Don't do this, by the way. They drink in abundance. They find that suddenly they're growing little teats, blossoming teats. Um, I think they call it gynecomastia. Essentially, it's like your hormones have gone out of the whack, and men's otherwise dormant mammary glands kind of invigorate.
Yeah.
Let's call it invigorate. They grow a little bit, so you end up with these like middle-aged men with moobs.
And just have a full grown udder.
Yeah, they basically moobs. So yeah, basically, if you like drinking your milks in mass quantities and you've gone over to a nut milk or something like that, just be mindful of how much you're drinking and what kind you're drinking. Remember, it's almond for men, soy milk for women.
Or you can be a normal fucking person and just drink regular milk.
And then die of cholesterol. You see, there's a downside to
Actually, no. See, here's the thing. Okay, we're talking about milk, and milk is like my water. I shit you not. I could go through just off top. If I gave no caution to how much milk I was drinking and how much a fucking gallon of milk costs nowadays, if I just threw all that to the wind, I shit you not, I could drink over 6, 7 gallons of milk in a week. Like I can very easily drink a gallon of milk a day, if not more. And I don't know. I like I have high cholesterol. Well, did. I've taken medicine, it's went down, but I guarantee it did not come from that milk.
yeah.
It's just because I don't eat healthy, so to
Fair.
speak.
Hey, so just out of
I
curiosity, what kind of milk are we talking? We're talking like animal milk, right? But like,
Yes, animal.
are we talking about full fat? Are we talking about semi-skimmed? Are we
Uh,
talking
it,
about skimmed?
I
Like,
so
if it's
okay,
semi-skimmed, it's fake. It's like it's
okay.
water.
No. Skim milk is fucking disgusting and needs to die. Skim milk is skim and 1%. They need to die. Whoever came up with these ideas, you need to fucking go kill yourself. Well, they're probably already dead. So you need to come back, kill your families, and then kill yourself again because it's fucking gross. 2% and whole milk. The only two milks that I'll drink.
1% and 2%. What is this percent of?
It's like how much fat is in it.
Right.
So we have skim milk, which is like I believe it's like less than 1% of fat in it. And then there's 1%, which is like 1% fat. And then there's 2%. And then it goes from 2% to whole milk, which I believe is like 4% fat or some shit.
See, over here we pretty much have like more often than not we just have like three sort of colors, right? We have the blue, which are the full fat. We got the greens, which are the skimmed, which kind of like they're the in between. I always see them as kind of like, but take whatever is in it, you basically cut it in half. And then you
Yeah.
got the semi skimmed, which is basically like it may as well just be, coffee whitener or something. Like it's water that's trying to be milk but failing.
Yeah.
That gives some color to your coffee so that you don't feel like
Yeah.
drinking a black coffee every time.
No,
Um,
see, that's where over here you have, like I said, we have like the four different standard types. Skim, which is like I said, which is what you just described, basically water trying to be milk, and it's pink typically. 1% is I believe, because I don't ever pay attention to it, I believe it's like green or something. 2% is blue, and whole milk is red.
Really?
Mhm.
Your whole milk is red and your 2% is blue.
Well, not the color of the milk, but
No, but like the package.
yeah, yeah, yep.
Okay, so yours is kind of like the reverse of ours then.
That's well, yeah. America's the reverse of everything. You all fucking measure in meters and kilometers. We measure in feet and miles.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like we should just be more like Canada and be part of the magical world of bagged milk.
That just honestly, it just disturbs me
Why?
on a
Why, friend? What
milk
disturbs you
and
about bagged
milk.
milk?
It, the fact that it's in a bag.
Yeah, but why? It's only a bag.
It, Milk should not be in a bag
Why not?
because that just sounds awful.
What do you have yours in?
In a plastic jug.
A plastic jug. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bags are
Literally.
plastic, so what's wrong with a plastic bag?
No, it's a flimsy plastic.
I mean, what if I told you that these weird Canadians, to counteract their madness of having bagged milk, they also have specific jars to put the bagged milk in?
Hey, that's just stupid, in my opinion. I'm like, literally, you go to the store, you buy a gallon of milk, it comes in a plastic jug, you bring it home, you stick it right in the fridge, and you want it, you just grab the jug. You don't have to do multiple steps.
So they do multiple steps. Um, it's a plastic
It's like,
bag,
hey,
which I think is actually harder to recycle than plastic bottles. Plus,
like
they have to go
I
get an extra a jug. They need a specific jug to fit the bags because they're cut to a certain shape, I think, as well.
I say, see, again, I don't know anything about. I've known that they have milk bags, but I've never actually looked up anything about them. And I'm just like, it's just asinine. I'm like, why? It, it just, it, and I'm sure somewhere along the line, someone could explain, oh, it somehow saves yada yada doing it this way. And I'm like, well, okay, but the rest of the world does it like this, and it works out just fine.
Does it though?
It does.
Does it though?
Yes, because you know how universal milk jugs are? Like after you empty a milk jug, let's say it's in the summer and you finished off, literally just wash it out and fill it with water. I have a water jug. Or like you change the oil in your car and you have a fucking oil, to literally put the old oil in that and then take it to your auto parts store, wherever it is you can, give them used oil and they take care of it.
Or you can get bagged milk, and when you're done with the milk bag, you can suffocate your child with it.
What? Okay, well, I wouldn't go. I mean, I would have said suffocate your neighbor, but I mean,
I
well,
mean,
then again, I,
dude,
I don't know. I don't know. We'll put a pin in that
we've
We'll
all
come
got
back to
our own targets.
it. Wait, are you targeting my kids or your own kid?
I don't have kids, so what does that say?
Well, I mean, you got orphanages over there, right?
Oh my gosh, we're not
Just
living in
going,
the 18th century, right?
going to an or
We don't have
just,
orphanages. We don't even have orphans. We have foster children and foster homes, which is apparently like being adopted, but like a teaser. Like
yeah,
you get
it's
to live with a family, find out what it's like, and then you grow to be 16 and you kick to the curb because no one actually wanted you.
yeah, and most of the families literally only do that to get money. And so they don't even give two shits about you anyways.
And if it fraud in this day and age, nonsense. Poppycock even.
No. Have you well, it reminded me, you ever watched the Sword Art Online? You ever seen that?
No. I saw most of the first season, thought it was trash.
Kind of is. Uh way overhyped. Did you ever watch the abridged series of it?
No, should I have?
Yes, you should. Much better than it's funny. But basically at one point, uh you said you watched most of the season. Do you remember like when that little girl just kind of randomly showed up and they started treating her like their own daughter?
Yeah, where they had like kind of this weird fake marriage thing going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. And so they went to like they went back down to like the first level where they all started, and there's like a quote unquote orphanage there, where this woman, basically like all the kids that are stuck in the games are stuck in the game, they can all stay there, and she takes care of them, yada yada. In the abridged series, this girl comes along that girl comes along, and they're like, so they're like, okay, so you know what we have to do, right? They're like, yeah, so we're on the same page, right? They're like, yeah, of course. And it just cuts to them going there, going to that orphanage thing. It just goes, we'd like to buy one child, please. And they're like, oh, we'll take them in bulk if you got them.
I thought that was going a completely different way. My mind immediately went to Star Wars 1.
What were they fucking wait,
Master
Star Wars?
Skywalker, they're everywhere. There's too many
Oh,
of them. What will we
no,
do?
that's the
Wow.
third. Yeah, that's the third movie.
Is that the third one? Of course it is.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. That's when he
Yeah.
becomes Darth Vader. But yeah, it's just, yeah, you should watch the abridged series. Is so much fucking better and so funny.
You have to.
Uh, oh my god, it's great. Yeah, no, the actual show, yeah, it's pretty crap. It got way overhyped. I thought it was kind of cool at first, and then towards the end of the first season, it was kind of like I started noticing the flaws that people were pointing out, and I'm like, yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was.
Sad. Sad.
And then it turned into some sort of fucking,
See,
basically turned into a complete parody of itself.
I didn't enjoy it just because I've seen so many like computer game isekai animes do it much better. Okay, I'm from a generation that watched Dot Hack. Okay, which is
Well, see, I'm from that same generation you are,
yeah.
and
For starters, it's not like everybody gets trapped in the game. It's one person, right? One person,
yeah,
which isn't technically the main character. They're actually kind of like they're kind of like a side character that the main characters try and get involved with, right? So there's a lot of mystery around this character that's trapped in the game, like to the point where their in-game investigations into this person and their weirdness takes them into the real world where they then find out the tragic truth of it all. Like that
yeah.
Dot Hack was so well done. So well done.
See, it's been so long since I've seen anything dot hack related. I barely remember it. But what you just described is basically what they tried to do. I want to say like the third season or something of Sword Art Online, where yeah, there was some they discovered some fucking chick in there was some girl. She wasn't trapped in the game anymore, but or they weren't trapped in the game, but basically the main character realized something was up with her, and so his girlfriend, which is like his wife from the first season or whatever, basically becomes friends with her, and they're like, "Oh, we want to beat one of the levels. We want to beat the floor boss because reasons." Uh, and so they finally do it, and then you discovered that this chick basically just lives in the game because she's like terminally ill with cancer, and being in the real world is just too painful for her.
Makes sense.
Like like physically, like she's in the hospital and it's just physically too painful for her to be in there. So she just lives in this other world, and then she ends up dying because obviously she has terminal cancer. So but yeah, like I feel like they literally just tried to do something like that.
Yeah.
And it just, in my opinion, it was so stupid. It was so
It's a
stupid
shame.
that
It's a shame because that actually could have been like a really good premise if they hadn't
it,
already beat a dead horse.
yeah, or like they didn't just make some random one-off character that you were supposed to fucking like.
Because in the first season, like it's just more of the same. You've already had like 10 different animes come out with the exact same premise. Probably did it better. Log Horizon, I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of that one. That one did it great. Um, Very colourful characters and no Mary Sue main character either. Then you got like, I always go back to it, but Dot Hack has got to be my all-time favourite for this, just because it's Dot Hack, man. I watched this when I was a kid. Like that shit had you know murder, it had intrigue in both in game and real life. It had
But
like
now
so
every
much like
but now the power of friendship saves all.
I have got so many books on Dot Hack because it wasn't just we're taking a premise and we're running with it for one season, then we're going to go with a completely different premise for season two because season one was kind of trash, and then keep being a dead horse. No, it's like literally every single one of these things just delves further and further into the mystery because like with Dot Hack, it's not just about this one kid who's trapped in the game. That's like literally one season. Not even one season.
Yeah.
That's one series. Okay, in this expanded universe, let's call it. Okay, you've then got like the whole thing with like the original heroes, how they met, and they're the ones who are featured in the original PlayStation games. They're the ones who you see in GU as like the kind of like twisted, evil, you know, villains of the story they're like this like brainless killing machine, and whoever they kill like literally puts them into a coma, like
Yeah.
you got heroes from their previous stories suddenly becoming these villains of newer stories, and you got like you take yourself completely out of the game, right? And you've got this whole shtick with literally the development team. They've got some really big mysteries surrounding the development team of this online game they've produced in this story, right?
Yeah.
One of which is like this overworking man with a vision who was so distraught that like he literally found a way to essentially curse the game in a way. Like they were so distraught they created like a vagrant AI, and then that vagrant AI basically found a way to trap people in game because it was lonely. Like the expanded lore is crazy. There's like a whole book I've got which is based purely around one of the GMs, like one of the moderators of the game. Like their whole shtick is to like, oh, there's a vagrant AI, better go delete that and correct the data. Oh, there's a naughty boy over there, I'm gonna go ban him. Like the whole story based around this one GM who, in the process of doing his tasks, becomes kind of a guardian of an AI because there is a deeper mystery there, and like something isn't quite right. He wants to protect that AI because it's the key to something he hasn't figured out yet. and it all
Yeah.
revolves around the original creator and their um, twisted like heartache. You know, like it's like a ladder, and every step of the ladder goes more and more into like a in it basically towards the origins. It all points to this one origin point, and so much crap came out of this single heartache. Like that's how you do a story. That's how you do a franchise. You don't just, oh, everybody gets isekai'd. Everyone likes computer games, so we'll make it so they get isekai'd into a computer game. Oh, everyone's in it.
Oh,
Oh my god, such a shame. So many kids. Oh, let's go with numbers. Oh,
oh,
oh, we've
and then every
concluded.
new
We've concluded our really poorly written manga. Okay, well, let's create a season two. We need a reason to get them back in the game. The love interest gets kidnapped and is held hostage in the game. All right, cool. Time to send in our Mary Sue to go get him.
Yeah, oh yeah, and then every new character is a teenage girl that falls in love with the main character.
Yeah, yeah. So it is a horror anime as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't win
And
points with that. I'm afraid it's
no, no, it. There's only I basically I've only seen two animes that I didn't mind the harem part. One of it was because the guy literally like he got summoned to another world, and then he became the king. And so as king, at least in this world, like polygamy was encouraged.
so
And so it was more or less like all these people were like, "Hey, we're going to get married for political reasons." And the guy was just kind of like, "Well, okay then, whatever." And it was pretty good. And then there was another one where yeah, the guy had already made it known like this chick is the only chick I want. She's my lover. She this and that. And like the whole time, all these like two or three other chicks were like trying to get his attention, but his actual girlfriend, lover, wife, whatever the hell you want to call her, just kept fucking pushing their buttons because she's like, "Oh yeah, well I know what he likes in bed. You don't." Haha. And it made it really funny. But otherwise, I really hate any anime that's just like, "Oh, there's a new character. Oh, the new character's a woman. Okay, that's fine. Oh, there's another new character. Oh, this one's a woman too. Okay.
or the
Oh,
work.
look, another new character. Oh, this one's a woman too.
Yeah,
Okay.
or they try and mix up, and instead of like the new character just being a woman, it's like a woman, but also the new motive is that they're dying. Wow, death is
Oh
such a
yeah.
great motivator. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's actually one of the cardinal sins of writing good stories is if death is your motivator, you need to find like so much more to basically supplement it, else it's a
Yeah.
stand because death is
Well,
it's
I hate
finite.
when
It's futility. Like unless your story is literally based around the concept of futility, yeah, no, death is never a good motivator in a story.
no, it sucks because they basically go, "Hey, here's this character like her, but also know that she's gonna die." And it's like, okay, so you're trying to force me to like her instead of just, hey, here's this character. Okay, a season or two goes by, and then, oh, by the way, we just discovered that she has cancer now. Then it's like that is how you make an impact, not just, oh, by the way, this character's dying, but we're not going to tell you when she's dying, but know she's dying. So you know, and know that she's in love with the main character, but because she's dying, she doesn't want to try to really make a moves because she won't be around. So she has to struggle with that until she dies. And then on her deathbed, she'll tell the hero how she feels. And you're supposed to like it. Like, what? No.
No, that will never hold me. But I tell you what does hold me. So you got a kid who's suffers from like abuse at home, right?
Yeah.
Gets abused a lot by their parents, like physically and mentally, I suppose. Um, they try and find escape. The best way to find an escape in the current day, computer games, right? So they play
Yep.
these computer games. You know, their social life is shambles, so they have difficulty making friends in game. They stick to themselves. They kind of play it solo. Uh, they get a bit lonely, and they come across a vagrant AI and a bot, like basically a bit of coding that shouldn't be there, kind of hidden in the background.
Yeah.
Kind of lulls the cat, the main guy, into like a sense of comfort. It's nice. It's a presence the kid wants to be around. It's essentially a new friend, right? And what more, we're in a world where there's player killers like constantly killing you and like taking your stuff and stuff. This AI has given you a guardian that protects you, right? And
Yeah.
you finally find warmth. Like the kid finally finds warmth. Okay. Only it turns out that
Mhm.
this guardian is putting other people in comas whenever it attacks them. Right? It's pretty bad. Literally, kind of like deal whatever. Anyway, so then you get onto the main cast, right? And they come across this kid who's just always alone with a weird pet, and like they don't know what his story is. Or sorry, I say his. You don't even know if it's a boy or a girl. Literally, do not know. Through seeing these other characters, you get like quite a weird cast. You got like a man who's getting on in his age. He's like a school teacher, right? You got
Yeah.
high school student woman who is just too kind for their own good, wants to like make a few friends in the games, comes across the lonely kid, and reaches out. It becomes a little bit of a fascination. Kind of wanted to, you know, see what his that kid's deal is, and you know, essentially be friends, right? Fair enough. So you got like you got your twisted characters in the backgrounds. You got your kind of like strange, like powerful characters, which are there for like the fan servicey stuff, big-breasted priestess sort of thing. You know,
Of
um,
course.
even the idea of guilds are like fleshed out. You got like player-run cities which are guarded by these guilds, and at the head of the guild is like this darling of a woman who is just like so soft-natured, and like everybody's got like a great personality and everything, right? But like
Yeah.
as this like this as this teacher who looks like this barbarian, and this girl who's basically like a swordswoman, they kind of don't exactly chase the kid, but they sort of run into them every now and then. The intrigue grows, so they eventually do try to like reach out and like see what their deal is, and they notice certain weird things. They run into his pet, which almost kills them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they get more and more curious, and then like when they actually manage to have a conversation with a kid, like I think one of the first things they ask is like, "Hey, you like boy or a girl or something?" Right? The kid
Yeah.
hesitates and then decides to just walk away after having like a nice conversation, because they've literally forgotten whether they're a boy or a girl or not. Like they have been trapped
Oh,
in the game that long that they've lost their sense of identity, which spurs on the other protagonists, and it becomes a whole thing. Like there's this whole mystery. They get little snippets. Like eventually you find out, oh, this they remember something about living in a certain city, or there was I think it was something like something in their city released. They were super excited for it because they managed to have a time alone where they actually had a chat about real world things. And whilst the information was blurred, they picked up on certain things. Like, oh, there was a thing that released in my hometown. I was really like, super excited for it. And then the girl catches on. It's like, I think he's talking about this city. So then like she talks to the teacher. The teacher is then like going full detective mode, goes into the real world sort of thing, and like sort of does some detective work, finds out that a kid who plays the game fell into a coma and is in hospital and looks strangely like the kid. And this mystery just adds on and on and on and on, right? It turns out,
Yeah.
it's just like it's got this build up. It's not just big breasted girl, cute girl. Main protagonist is a boy who's a Mary Sue because he can literally do anything from day one and be super powerful. Like none of that.
Yeah.
Everybody is like crazy on the same level. Like they've got strengths, they've got weaknesses. When you have like the powerful priestess go up against like the rogue,
Yeah.
you bet your ass she gets like bested by him because she's a freaking caster. This guy's like a guy with knives who moves fast and like can pretty much like shadow step, that sort of stuff. Like the world building, just the world they're in is more believable than basically anything I saw in Sword Art Online, and it's kind of the reason. All this to say, it's the reason why I just, whenever I looked at Sword Art Online, I just thought, wow, this is trash.
No, it pretty much was. See, another anime that does great storytelling, similar to what you're talking about, about adding on the mysteries and stuff, is you ever watch Attack on Titan?
I did, yes. Although,
Yeah.
I've got to admit, I only got past. I don't remember how far into I got because, for the most part, it's one of those shows it just keeps on adding more and more and more. And
Oh no, it's on the final season.
is it finally okay?
Uh,
When did I
yeah,
actually start
it's
watching that?
uh yeah, so like the first season, all you find out that there are the three big walls, and then suddenly the big ass Colossus Titan fucking shows up, breaks the gate, and then that armored Titan shows up and breaks the other gate, and that's how the first episode and two go. And then and so it's like, okay, now, those Titans were different from all the other ones. No one knew about them and stuff. And so then the main characters train, become soldiers, which then they add on these other main slash side characters in there as well.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay, cool. So they train, become soldiers, and now they're doing this. Oh, uh, suddenly they're under attack again by the giant Colossus Titan showed up and fucking kicked the other gate down now, and now Titans are coming in, and so they're like, okay, yeah, we trained for this, let's go kill them, yada yada. And then suddenly they all just start getting eaten alive. And it's honestly kind of funny because it's all like uplifting music and this and that, and then next thing you know, suddenly they all just start getting eaten.
yeah,
And it's great. Puts that sense of realism to you. It's like, oh, just because they want to do good and save people doesn't mean they're fucking going to.
yeah. Like the
Um,
tragedy will befall them, and you can tell that they
yeah,
make the most of the time they have in between. I think the bit where I stopped watching is when they discovered that something is weird with the big titans. I think they
but
just discovered that it was one of their like comrades or something who could turn
yeah,
into one.
so uh, during the second attack, after they got trained, Aaron Yeager, who's the quote unquote main character, uh, of it, he you don't know it at the time, but there's another Titan fighting other Titans, and then his Titan finally falls to the ground dead, and he comes out the back of it. But well, he had just gotten eaten by a Titan a couple episodes prior. Yeah, he was saving one of his friends and he got ate. And so then they're like,
Like straight up bite off his arm. Like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He so yeah, he's flying through the sky, and one jumps up and bites his leg off, and he crashes, and then his friend's getting ate, and he goes over and pulls his friend out of the Titan's mouth. And then whenever the Titan closes his mouth, it chomps off his fucking arm. Uh and so anyways, he comes out of the Titan, his arm and leg is grown back. And so now they have to try to convince everyone else that he's human. because this is the first time anyone's ever seen that. And not even Aaron knows what the fuck's actually happening, like why he can do it. And so, yeah, so they beat back the Titans out of that wall and save the day of that. Uh, and then they go on this expedition to try to basically retake the first wall that got broke through in the first episode. And well, suddenly there's this female Titan that's just running through, killing everyone, and they almost caught her. And then you learned that she is also like Aaron.
It's like
It's
the
actually a
Call of Duty
person.
one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's she's actually that Titan. And so they fail to capture her, though. And then the end of the first season is they finally end up capturing her. And but right before she can be captured, she seals herself in this crystal that is completely impenetrable by anything they know of. And so they just keep her locked up in a really deep basement. And then, yeah, then the second season comes in, and suddenly there's Titans inside the walls where they shouldn't be any Titans inside the walls. And there's this other Titan that basically looks like a giant fucking monkey in a way. They call him the Beast Titan.
Oh yeah.
But what's weird is he's able to actually talk. So clearly, that's another human, another human-based Titan being controlled. And so, but you don't know who it is, where it came from, or why. And so basically the second season, for like half of it, is everyone trying to figure out where these Titans inside the walls are coming from. No one can understand it. And then like they go to one of the villages and find one of the characters basically finds a Titan on top of his house, but it can't move because its arms and legs are just too weak. There's like no muscle mass to him at all. It just cannot move. And so it just sits there and stares at him. And then right before they leave, the Titan says their name. Their name's Connie. And it says Connie. And the guy's like, what the fuck? So you're more mystery to it. It's like, what the hell? And so yeah, then they end up discovering that the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan are actually two of their friends, and then also another one of their friends can turn into a Titan as well. And so they try to kidnap Aaron, and they end up saving him. But the commander of the scouts, which is the people that try to go outside the walls, he ends up losing an arm in a really cool fucking way. I thought was literally like he's leading the charge against them to recover Aaron, and suddenly this Titan comes out of nowhere, just bites his arm and carries him off, and everyone basically stops and just stares in horror as he's being carried off. But as he's being carried away with his arm inside this Titan's mouth, he's just like, don't what are you all fucking doing? Keep going. You have to save him. Don't stop. And then he comes back later on, and he's obviously missing an arm now. And so they rescue him, and you end up discovering that Aaron is able to control the Titans somehow. But again, it's another mystery. So you're like, what? So now, but shit's starting to fall into place, though. Is like, okay, you know who the Colossal and Armored Titans are, you know. So there are questions answered, but more questions are being asked. And so then the third season is basically just them fighting the Beast Titan and the Armored and Colossus Titan and stuff. And oh yeah, then you also find out the truth of where the walls came from, and that actually the walls are actually just a bunch of Colossus Titans standing side by side.
What the fuck?
Yeah. They use the same hardening ability that the female Titan used, and made these walls. And you find out that the first king of that island made the walls and then basically the power that Aaron has, they call it the founder,
Right.
that can change their memories.
So they just all forgot that they could like transform. Oh,
No. The At the time there were no other Titans in the walls. Like it was literally there was just the founding Titan. That was it. There was just normal people. But he changed all their memories to thinking that all of humanity outside the walls was gone. That they were the last bit of humanity.
I see.
And then over time, though, more Titans have shown up and stuff, which we'll get to that now. Basically, in the final season, you discover that they are certainly not the last of humanity. They are on an island where basically the rest of the world hates them. Because apparently 2,000 years ago, uh, they're called Eldians, like that's their race or whatever, so to speak. Uh, is they're called Eldians, and basically like 2,000 years ago, the Eldians basically ruled the world and subjugated everyone else. And then there was like an uprising, and so they the king took a shit ton of Eldians to this island, made the walls, and basically told the rest of the world, we will stay here, leave us alone. Should you try anything, I will unleash all of these Titans inside the walls on the rest of the world. They will literally trample over you, and there's nothing you can do.
That's ridiculous.
And so, yeah, it's this big long thing where the now they know, basically they know the truth now. And Aaron has reached the point where so the only way I'm going to save my friends and stuff and everyone on this island is I have to kill everyone else outside of the walls, which is basically what he's done. He has unleashed all the Titans that were creating the walls and are now trampling the world.
I see.
So all the questions have been answered.
Right.
And that's one thing I love is they added a bunch. They would answer a question and then they'd ask, then they'd give you two more.
Oh, it's one of those.
And
Okay.
yeah, but now within the final season, they have, and basically every question has been answered. Like there's no more mystery to it. Now it's like, is someone going to stop Aaron from basically destroying the world, or what's going to happen now? There's no more mystery involved.
I kind of love the idea that they've basically just made a wall around like a bunch of Titans, so that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
well,
did
that's the
search of it, and like I'm just seeing like a face in a crack, and I'm just like,
yeah, that's
all right.
yeah. At the end of the first season, the female Titan is trying to climb up the wall to escape, but Aaron in his Titan form drags her back down, and so at the beginning of the at the beginning of the second season, literally they look up in one of the cracks where her fingers dug into the wall, is they just see a Titan's face. And they're kind of like, what the fuck?
That's gotta love it. It's definitely one of those weird. I have to wonder about it actually. Like, did the creator basically just make the original manga because they wanted to flex what they know about the human anatomy and that they just really liked box openers? Like, I know. Every time I see it, I'm like, they love muscles, and the weapons, they're basically just retractable box cutters.
Yeah. No, I've wondered that about a lot of animes where it's like when you watch the first season, It's like, okay, here's this very clear focus. And then that same anime is on like season 6, and it's just gone so far beyond what it started out as. And I've always wondered, like, was this their original plan, or did they just kind of throw shit together?
Most of the time, I think they're throwing shit together. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at One Piece. I remember when that first released, or
Oh
at
my.
least first started airing in this country, and I thought it was great. I was like, yeah, pirates, love this. Oh, they got weird like powers. Oh, that one's like a weird clown. Okay, like
I was different.
it was, no,
I hated One Piece.
I thought it was a breath of fresh air, but it's like looking at it now, I'm like, I wish that I could go and watch that anime to sort of blitz it out, get it done, move on, just so I can know the story. But it's like 1,000 or so
And
episodes
it's not done. It's not done.
done, and I'm just like, at this point, I just don't care. Like, no,
No,
it's worth that. Like,
see, my speaking of One Piece, because I'm actually watching it. I have Hulu, and so I've just been watching it on that. Unfortunately, most it's subtitled, so which is fine. I don't mind subtitles, but at the same time, I also sometimes like dubbed because I don't have to read. But anyways, when it first came out, I thought it was dumb as shit because a lot of the people just looked fucking ridiculous.
oh yeah, definitely.
And it was, and I could not get past that. I was like, this is so stupid. But then now I've been binge watching it whenever I get bored. And so, like I said, I read the subtitles and shit, but I just got to the point where I'm on like 485 or 86 or whatever episodes. Like, literally, it took this long for something to extravagant to happen, which was Luffy, who's the main character, his brother just died.
I see.
Almost 500 episodes in.
Yeah, I think I made it
And
like what 30 episodes in before I gave up.
yeah,
And bear in mind though, like that was a commitment back then. I can't imagine watching TV now because it's like the commitment back then was if you wanted to watch a series, you got to tune in the same time, like every 2 days or something, right?
yeah,
Or new episodes every Sunday or something like that. So like it was a commitment. If you wanted to watch these animes, you got to be there every weekend and you got to watch that.
uh-huh,
You're gonna love every second of it, and then you're gonna talk about it with your mates. But
yep,
since it and I feel like this is actually part of the detriment. Like I don't think One Piece would be able to last on actual TV alone,
no,
just because it is so damn long. It doesn't need to be.
no. No, it doesn't. And there are some things that are cool that like, oh, like it is. It's like the longest running anime. Well, I guess besides maybe Pokemon or Digimon or what the fuck ever. Uh, but like there is something I have noticed a lot, and I do find myself thinking it more often than not when I watch it, is I'll watch an episode and then I'll just be like, and it's not even a filler episode. It's not. And I'm like, this episode was completely pointless. Like, okay, like for instance, in what I just watched of Luffy's brother got killed finally and yada yada. It's like, okay, that's a big thing. Half of the episodes in this arc did not need to be in there because alls it was more people fighting in the exact same fight that's been taking place for the past 10 episodes.
Yeah.
It's like half of this arc is just Luffy literally running in a straight line to get to his brother. And oh, someone tries to stop him. Oh, here's this guy that pops up to fight this guy instead. So Luffy can keep running.
You mean it?
And it's like,
It got the Dragon Ball Z treatment, where basically,
yes,
yeah, like
where
a season is basically like 3 episodes of like this new place they're exploring. Then it'll be a couple episodes of like these are the bad guys, haha, and then it'll suddenly be like Goku versus the bad guy, except for it's gonna take 5 episodes of them screaming in midair whilst they charge up their superpowers, or they actually land a punch,
yeah,
and then they'll find that they're not strong enough, so they need to go super train to come back and scream for a further 20 episodes.
yeah, or trying the exact same move for the 100th time just to find out it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
Like,
You know what? Oh my god, you know what like Dragon Ball Z is? It's basically an amateur versus a pro at like Tekken or Street Fighter or something. Where like
yeah,
the amateur will win, but the pro is like using all these flashy abilities, they're super effective, but like because the amateur is just spamming the one like high kick button, the pro can't get anywhere near them.
yeah. No, like, oh, if you go back and you watch all of Dragon Ball Z, and you'll see this every fucking time. There's a move that I know Vegeta likes to do it, and I can't swear. And I know other people have done it, but Vegeta comes to mind because you ever watch Dragon Ball Z abridged?
Oh gosh, no, I do not have time for that nonsense.
Oh, you should. Again, really fucking hilarious, really good. Uh, but basically, uh, they will do a volley of blast. Like, they basically just turn their arms into machine guns and start shooting a bunch of those energy balls.
Yeah.
As a, and it's like every time they do that move, like they will let's say they'll punch someone, that whoever it is they punch goes flying into a mountain. And then they'll do that volley of energy ball blast thing. And then they'll just stand there, or float there, I guess. They're usually flying.
Clears 3 episodes.
Yeah, the dust clears. And then, suddenly whoever they hit is now behind them or shoots something back at them. And I'm like, why do you all bother doing that move? It has never once worked. Ever. And in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, whenever Vegeta's fighting Cell literally, Vegeta does that to him, and then Cell literally looks to him and goes, Vegeta, has that ever actually worked? And Vegeta just stands there stunned because, I mean, obviously they're not animating it, so to speak. They're just using it, but he just stands there, and then Cell kicks his ass. And so I'm like, right. I'm like, there you go. I'm like, that is like, they still to this day, even in Dragon Ball Super, people will continue to do that whole volley blast, and it does nothing. And then they just stand there or float there, and I'm like, oh my god, did we get them? What the fuck do you think? Has it ever worked any of the other 20,000 times?
See, I think I actually like the original series.
Oh, the original series is good.
I think it's the original series. Basically, it's like it's not straight in with the Goku nonsense, right? I think it follows Bulma or whatever.
I know Dragon Ball's Goku. Bulma too, but
yeah,
it's mostly Goku.
But anyway, whichever one it is, basically the beginning of it basically follows the lady character Bulma. I think it is Bulma. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, like the first episode
for a long time before it even brings in Goku, and it's like it's interesting because it's like it's got this whole shtick about like, oh yeah, they're like this weird treasure hunter. They're a badass with like a weird like future pistol or something. The technology's weird. We've got the. And then suddenly boil on a floating cloud, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is kind of like eccentric. I like this, Anyway, so it's kind of like this whole shtick. Like, there's treasure hunters and stuff like that. They're after this like these weird balls that give a wish and stuff like that. And then it gets into the fighting stuff, and you don't mind that so much, right? Because it's not all weird space martial arts against a villain, right?
Yeah.
It had good pacing. Interesting new characters, and the story arcs were just interesting to see. But then, like, ever since then, it's just more of the same, you know.
Oh, yeah,
I,
it is.
I think they skip out on the actual like adventure part and just go straight to the martial arts bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and then especially in like the latest series of Dragon Ball Super, which I quite frankly fucking hate.
Yeah.
It, uh, yeah, it Dragon Ball Z did a lot of things good, but it also did a lot of things bad. And but the pacing though you're talking about, yeah, they try. It was basically if Goku wasn't involved, it had decent pacing.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like you said, the moment he shows up, it just turns into fucking fighting nonstop.
Mm-hmm. It
And it's like,
he's essentially an inevitable like he's the inevitable Mary Sue of the franchise. He's always
yeah,
involved. He always, like I said, he's always fighting and he'll always win, right?
yeah,
He may lose first and then come back and then win because you can't go without your 5 billion episode long training montage and space dilation or something. But like, yeah, essentially, like without Goku, it's actually a really good like series. It's got intrigue, you know.
yeah. Because I like the perfect example is the Namek saga. They go to Namek to get the Dragon Balls, and oh, Frieza's there. Okay, so there's Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan. Krillin and Gohan, neither of them are really strong. They're not strong enough to take on Frieza's guys. So they kind of try to sneak around and shit. Uh, and so they're doing all, basically they're doing all that. They team up with Vegeta at one point just because Vegeta was more powerful, and they came to a mutual understanding that the only way they're going to survive is if they have Vegeta's help. And like everything was fine, and then like the Ginyu Force showed up, and okay, that's fine. They're there to take back the Dragon Balls and to fight, whatever. Uh, but then it was literally Goku shows up, kicks fucking the Ginyu Force's ass, kicks Ginyu's ass, almost dies, and then has to get put into a pod to heal for fucking 20 episodes. And then it kind of goes back to the whole okay, they're fighting Frieza, but they're also trying to be strategic about it and stuff and this and that. And then Goku pops out and it just turns into him fighting Frieza and powering up the spirit bomb for like 2 episodes or some shit.
Yeah,
And then he becomes Super Saiyan, and the planet was supposed to blow up in 5 minutes, which apparently 5 minutes means like 5 episodes that were like 30 minutes long.
yeah. I tell you what, Margin Buu can also go to hell. Like the whole thing with the pink guy, like.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Honestly,
I
I
really dug the storyline with the androids and Cell. Like
yeah.
I thought that was pretty legit. Like that was kind of like twisted in a way that it kind of like grosses you out a little bit. Kind of gives you a feeling of dread whenever Cell shows up because you know something like nasty is
Was it?
about to
Yeah,
happen.
well, because it was like two things in one. It was like, okay, you have the androids, and then Cell is kind of a side character, but they can't really go after Cell because they got to fight these androids. And then suddenly Cell's like, okay, I've drank enough humans. I need the other androids now and stuff. And yeah, it was certainly, especially because it took place on Earth and it wasn't a bunch of mystic mumbo jumbo bullshit. Uh, no Dragon Balls, no nothing. It was just straight up. Dr. Gero was getting revenge on Goku because Goku destroyed the Red Ribbon Army back in Dragon Ball. And so Dr. Gero's been working for like whatever it was, like 20 years or some shit to creating androids and turned himself into an android to be able to kill Goku. And I agree. I agree. It was.
Yeah, it was a weird snake tail that did it, like for me. The creepiness of like the tail opening up, basically nomming down on a android and then slowly sucking it back, like as if it was like a snake eating a mouse, and then evolving into something far more powerful. Like
Did you?
that was
Sorry, did you ever play the Budokai games?
I did. My favorite little guy, and I don't remember his name. The little clown-looking dude, uh, who his special ability would basically lose you the game every time, but you essentially latch on to the enemy player, the enemy
Chaozu.
character, Chaozu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you
Uh,
self-destruct.
yeah. Well, the reason I bring that up is because it was Budokai 1 or 2, I believe. Uh, Basically, if you're playing through the campaign, there's a point where Cell is going to absorb Android 18, and then suddenly Krillin pushes her out of the way and he gets absorbed instead. And Cell fucking goes from being his big hulking self down to this little fucking pale midget looking creature. And he's just kind of like, what the fuck? And then you fight as him against Android 18. And then after you win the fight, and then like Cell wakes up, he was just having a nightmare while waiting for the Cell games to start. And he was just kind of like, oh, Jesus Christ, that was awful. it was, it was just so fucking hilarious. He absorbs Krillin instead of 18 and turns into this pale midget creature.
Yeah, and you gotta love that. Basically, the whole Cell thing kind of gave birth to like one of the best waifus in the entire franchise.
Oh, yeah, Android 18.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. No, I think she is the best waifu from that series of all time.
Badass bitch in denim with like a huge forehead. Heck yeah.
God damn, you know we've been doing this for like 2 hours now?
Yeah, we should probably wrap it up.
Probably. I don't know how the fuck did we go from Florida Man and all the and that list you had to fucking talking about anime.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't even get onto the main subject I was going to talk about, but you know what? It's cool. It's a bit of a rough subject anyway.
Now I want to know what the subject was.
It was about fracking.
Do what?
You don't know what fracking is?
But what is
Fracking.
bracking?
Fracking with an F.
Oh, fracking?
Yeah.
Fuck, I know I've heard of it, but I honestly cannot fucking remember.
Long story short, it's a form of drilling for like minerals and stuff, but it involves a lot of like hydraulic pumping of like fluids and sand and stuff to basically turn underground pockets of minerals to pulp and then suck up the minerals through a tube. Basically, doing these almost almost artificial fault lines and basically like these caverns of just gross toxic water which shouldn't be there in the first place, which basically anyway it's a big problem, and yeah, but that's for another time. That's for another.
Yeah. Next time we just have to you gotta keep me on topic.
I
I
will.
get distracted
Oh, no,
very easily.
good. But yeah, let's wrap it up. It's been good. Been good.
I'm
Oh,
hungry.
I gotta admit, maybe we should definitely do like a podcast, which is basically just like a book club, because yeah.
Like a what where we just talk about anything and everything?
No, like talk about anime and games specifically. I feel
Oh my god.
'Cause
Yes.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but like a good basically been like, oh yeah, you remember this anime we watched, and it's thing that's kind of weird and would basically
Oh
spoil the storyline
yes.
for everybody listening. Yeah,
Fuck it. If they haven't watched them by now, it's their own fault.
true. Very true. Although I feel like that's a little bit unfair for things like for Attack on Titan, because it's kind of like still ongoing, so to speak. Couldn't give a crap.
Yeah, but
One Piece can like go suck it. It's too long. I stopped caring long ago.
yeah, there's a lot of it I don't care. I'm just curious to see how some of the things end in it.
Which is fair. But yeah, anyway, uh this has been We're Right, You're Wrong. Because we
yeah,
are
if you don't,
wrong.
yeah, if you don't like this, if you don't have the exact same opinion of us about those animes and video games and shit, then fuck you.
Not only that, but maybe your mother raised you wrong as well. Just saying.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, blame your mother. Go slap your mother and say you did a piss poor job.
Anyway, I've been you. This has been
I've been
Pyrisk.
someone.
This has been Pyrisk, Frank, uh, Turk, whatever his name is.
Kirk. Wow. Wow.
And until next
Thanks.
time, take it easy. Bye.
Don't tell me what to do.
I will.